6 ways emotions can cloud your judgment. Don't get fooled into thinking that your anxiety level should be the factor that helps you make the final decision about risk. Your feelings may be very unreliable. The more emotional you feel, the less logical your thoughts will be. Increase your rational thoughts about the risk you're facing to balance out your emotional reaction. If you're going to take a risk, especially one that could possibly involve your well being, wouldn't you want all the odds in your favor? However, most people choose the option that will cause them the least amount of anxiety. Pay attention to the thoughts you have about taking the risk and making sure you're basing your decisions on facts, not just feelings. A lot of research shows that we are pretty bad at calculating risk. Frighteningly, many of our major life decisions are based on complete irrationality. Here are a few ways that can happen. We incorrectly judge how much control we have over a situation. We're usually more willing to take bigger risks when we think we have more control. Most people feel more comfortable when they're in the driver's seat of a car, for example. But just because you're in the driver's seat doesn't mean you can avoid an accident. We overcompensate when safeguards are in place. We behave more recklessly when we think there are safety nets in place, and ultimately, we increase our risk. People tend to speed more when they wear their seatbelts, and insurance companies discovered that increased safety features on cars actually correlate with higher accident rates. We don't recognize the difference between skill and chance. Casinos had discovered that when gamblers play craps, they roll the dice differently depending on what type of number they need to win. When they want to roll a high number, they throw the dice hard. When they want a small number, they roll the dice softly. Even though it's a game of chance, people behave as if it involves some level of skill. We become easily deluded when we see a potentially large payoff. Even when the odds are stacked against you, if you really like the potential payoff, like the lottery for example, you'll likely overestimate your odds of success. We grow comfortable with familiarity. The more often we take risks, the more we tend to miscalculate how big a risk we're actually taking. If you take the same risk over and over again, you'll stop perceiving it as risky. If you speed on your way to work every day, you'll greatly underestimate the danger you're putting yourself in. We place a lot of faith in others' abilities to perceive risk accurately. Emotions can be contagious. If you're in a crowd of people who don't react to the smell of smoke, it's likely you might not sense much danger. In contrast, if other people begin to panic, you're more likely to react. These come from the book 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do. Take back your power, embrace change, face your fears, and train your brain for happiness and success.